Well, we've turned right after we've come off the causeway, heading on Periwinkle Way, and we see this sign, the Lighthouse Cafe. We found out that this is the new site for the Lighthouse Cafe, one of our favorite restaurants. We are not sure when it'll be opening. They're remodeling the current facility that's there right now. As we continue on Periwinkle Way, we come to, just a short ways away, the Bailey Homestead. It's preserved with native landscapes and garden center and a nature trails. If you bring your bikes with you, as we do when we go to Sanibel, we unload at this park because it's the first park along the way when you're going on Periwinkle, and they have a lot of facilities there. They're being remodeled right now, and you'll see in just a moment. So they'll have the picnic tables and grills, etc., that they've had in the past. In this park, we have a lot of trees that are represented on the island. The trees were gifts from Thomas Edison's friends, and they represent quite a few of them. This first one here on the right is the gumbo limbo tree. And then the next one is I called it originally a gumbo limbo, but it's a banyan tree. As you get to the back of the park here, you come across this, I think they call it a slough, and it has all kinds of birds and fish and who knows what else is in this pond. We go on over to cross the highway here, and these crosswalks in the state of Florida, cars must stop, which makes it a safe way to get across the street. And you'll see there on the right they have a place to sit down. And then a little bit further is the bike path. Now there are 22 miles of bike paths between Sanibel and Captiva, so there's plenty of places to ride. As you depart the Bailey Homestead, turn right, going on Periwinkle Way, you'll come to Billy's Rentals, which is one of Sanibel's favorite places to rent bicycles and other bike path approved vehicles. As you can see, there's quite a few of them. As we depart the Bailey Homestead, you turn right on Periwinkle and head towards Tarpon Bay Road. We're approaching that four-way stop here. And on the right is the Explorers Club, which is a part of Ding Darling. Soon you'll be able to rent bicycles there, as well as the kayaks that they currently have. And it has a lovely gift shop, all kinds of things that you can purchase in there. We're continuing on Periwinkle, going up towards Ding Darling. You can see on this sign we're now pulling into Ding Darling. It's not too far away from the Explorers Club. As we pull in, just to be careful, this is a bike path. They're supposed to stop at that spot. Before you head into the refuge, and especially if you have small children, we would recommend you take a look at the visitor center, which is just to the right of this sign. Inside is a gift shop, as well as many displays on what everyone will see as they go through the refuge. At the beginning of the ramp is the Tarpon Bay Explorers placard telling you about all the things that they do, their gift store as well, which is very nice. Next on the billboard is a map of the refuge itself, which has 65% of the property on Sanibel, which is 12 miles long and 5 miles wide at its widest. That area has been set aside for a refuge for wildlife. Next on the billboard is the Wildlife Society's activities, what they have going on. And then you enter this ramp to go up into the entrance to the Education Center. And that's where you'll find all these kiosks. Show you information about Ding Darling Refuge. This one is about how it was founded by Mr. Ding Darling. And then as you walk through, everyone gets an opportunity to take a look at a lot of different items that they'll see when they go through the refuge itself. Each of the kiosks provide a lot of information that you can show to your guests or to your children, such as this big eagle that's up in the right. And as most of us know that are in this area, there is a lot of wildlife and other things to take a look at, like these herons and the cormorants and anhingas that we find in almost all the ponds around here. Here above this display is a manatee. They're common in these waters. Fun to watch, and point them out to your children. And right here on the right we have Build-A-Bird, and that particular activity our grandchildren have really enjoyed. I'm still looking for one that I can put in here so you can take a look at what a tracing from that particular area looks like. This section shows an area where anyone can touch all the things you're going to see. The shells, the egg casings. You'll see some skeletons, and the most popular is that sea turtle. There's some starfish. Right next to that area where you could touch all the items is a whole information graphics about sea turtles. And there's a giant one up there on the top. Also next to it is a skeleton of a gator, and they're pretty prevalent as well. If you found this information to be helpful, we would appreciate a subscribe. You won't be emailed. It's free. And also hit the bell for notifications of our future episodes, which are going to be Captiva, North Captiva, and then Fort Myers Beach. Well, let's continue on our adventure. This next area right next to the visitor center, as you can see by the sign, is a learning pavilion. It's also a flex spot for families. They can go into this particular area, sit down. I've seen a number of them having lunches here. There are going to be picnic tables soon. This has been added after the hurricane. So let's begin our adventure in the drive forward into the Wildlife Refuge itself. After you've paid your entrance fee, you'll come across many of these open areas where you can pull off to the side of the road and take a look at what's happening out there with birds and fish jumping. The American white pelicans winter on the Gulf Coast, California, and Mexico. During the spring, they migrate to their summer nesting areas in the Great Plains and the Great Basin. The white pelicans migrate February through March and October through November. They're a beautiful big bird soaring in the skies overhead. This is an osprey right near where the white pelicans were. They are also prevalent in the refuge and all over Southwest Florida. There are many overlooks as you travel through the refuge, or if you're biking, people stop to look out over them to see what's happening. This woman is fishing and caught fish. Fishing is allowed in the refuge. We spent a lot of time looking at every single outlook that you could look at. We've just picked out a few of these to show you. You'll enjoy most of them, especially when you find birds and wildlife in them. This particular mangrove outlook is closed. As you can see the sign right now, the hurricane has taken some damage on a lot of these, but probably will be open soon. Each of these overlooks have a lot of interesting aspects to them, and most of them have these areas where that flat spot is up there that describe what birds you might see, but again they're being repaired. This particular tower is next actually on this particular way through the refuge, and you can see from there up on top there's telescopes to look at the birds out over that particular area. These next few scenes are from the overlook tower. As you see, they have a nice gradual way to go up, and this is a scene from the top, just some of the beautiful palms right there. And if you've ridden your bike in, this is a 4-mile trail, I think it is. It takes quite a lot to get around it, but it is another way to get to see all of the area. This is another pan from the tower. You can see a little bit better the area. You can see the vastness of the area that you can view. You can kayak out in there if you rent your kayaks. They do have trails that you can follow. Okay, now I'm up on the top of the observation deck. A little sandbar. If I can go a little closer. Get a little closer there. Such a beautiful refuge area for the bird watcher fans. They have nice telescopes to use. At many of these overlooks, the water runs fairly fast, as you can see here. This is one of the walkout areas that you can still get out to. It did not get damaged by the hurricane, but it gives you a good look out over the water. Here's another lookout. We found these particular ibis up in the trees here. This is another view of, this happens to be the Wolfert Keys Trail. I think it's 2.5 miles, but you can walk out there to observe the marsh area. Well, we're nearing the end of our adventure here in the refuge. This sign happens to be at the end. Gives you some idea about what happened at the Calusa Shell Mound and the early people who lived there. This is the end of the road trip through the refuge. It thanks you for being there. We're now going to head on to Bowmans Beach. As you exit the refuge, turn right and head towards Bowmans Beach Road. This is the entrance from the parking lot to get to Bowmans Beach. That reminds me though, don't forget those payment signs to pay for your parking. We just heard from one of our neighborhood chats that someone went to Bowmans Beach just recently, had a $150 fine, and they had to appear on a Zoom court. It does take about 10 minutes to get from the parking lot all the way to the beach. There are restroom services available. I'll point those out in just a moment. There are many spots with picnic tables and with grills located throughout this particular beach area. It also has a little pavilion in case it should be raining or for whatever inclement weather we might be having, but gives some information about Bowmans Beach. This particular one tells you a little bit about the shells you may be able to pick up on Bowmans Beach, and of course a little bit about the birds and attractions. They have restroom facilities as well as showers here on most of the larger beaches in the Sanibel and Captiva area. Bowmans Beach is a popular beach, so they're building some additional restrooms here on the left-hand side. Another covered pavilion area with picnic tables, and as in other facilities and beach facilities of Sanibel, has ample area to wash your feet off and or all the salt if you've gone into the water. We're going to be getting on this bridge, and it crosses over the Sanibel River. The river looks quite brown as we've had a lot of rain here in the last couple of days, and as you can see by the clouds, it's overcast today as well. This bridge is separated so that the maintenance crews can get through to the beaches to service them. Just over the bridge now, and take the left hand to get to the beach at this point. Well, we finally have our toes in the sand here, taking this last bit of a walkway through to get to the beach. I'm showing this vegetation on the right because it does keep the erosion away, with the seagrass and some of the sea grapes that are small trees being grown near the tree line. I'm going to add some music in here so you can enjoy the view of the beach. Many times along the beach you'll find these shell beds, above high tide especially, which are interesting to just sit down at and kind of go through either with a rake or your hands. And this particular beach has quite a distance to it, as you can see with this shot. As we left the beach and headed across the bridge, we saw these kayakers coming down the Sanibel River. Thought you'd like to see that this is a popular activity on this river. Well, what are the next steps? We'd appreciate hearing your comments of things we might add to some of our videos. We thank you for watching, and as always, if you liked what you saw, we would appreciate you hitting the subscribe button. There's no charge to you, and then hit the notification bell. That way you'll know when our upcoming videos will be Our next one will be Captiva, then North Captiva, and Fort Myers Beach.